Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. We are here, Sherry Meisner and Anna Broom, and we are going to do some basic studio training along with some boot camps, some naked pages, and just walking through some stuff with Heritage Maker. So Sherry, are you there?
I sure am.
Okay, awesome. So thank you guys for coming tonight to the training. We're super excited to start. And Sherry's got the screen, so she's going to take it away with the first topic, which is going to be boot camp.
All right. So a lot of people have kind of asked me a lot about boot camp, so we thought we'd just spend about 10 minutes here just kind of going through my steps on how I do this. So I'm sorry if you've already heard this before, but due to popular demand, I'm going to just kind of walk through it one more time just for the first few minutes here. So the idea that boot camp started with quite a few years ago was the idea of we are just too busy of people. But everyone still does have pictures that they do want to celebrate. And so when my kids were little, I kind of decided that I could either continue to enjoy the craft of scrapbooking and, spend an hour a page, or I could choose to keep my kids' albums caught up to date. And I had to let go of the craft. And I decided it was more important to me personally to stay caught up to date with my 3 kids' albums and our family albums. And so I came up with kind of the boot camp method, which I teach now, where the goal is to make 30 pages, it's 150 to 200 photos in about 4 hours. And this last year I broke it down to increments of 30 minutes because life is too busy, and I don't even have 4 hours really to sit and work on my kids' albums. So I try to work on it 30 minutes here and there when I can. So I'd love to share with you how I work on my kids' photo albums. This is the traditional way. I still usually do most of my kids the traditional way, and I do everything else digital, like trips and every other little book. So I do about half and half. So the idea is to get organized, and you can do this anytime with yourself. Do it yourself first, and then share it with a few friends, and do it with a few friends, and move on. It's a great thing to do when you have a project that has a start and end date with about 150 to 200 photos. But if you have 50 photos, that's great. If you have 400 photos, that's great. Just takes a little longer. Maybe a vacation, something you want to show people that, that'll be stuck in your box forever because you always work on your family albums. But there might be something that you would like to just get done so you can enjoy on your coffee table. It's not going to look crafty at the end, but I'll tell you how you can add a little bit of your look in when you get going. So what you're going to want to do is get your photos and organize them in order. So right now you'll want to get your pictures in order while you order your supplies. And the supplies that I use would be you'd need an album, you'd need a pack of the designer pages that our Memories for Life offers, journaling boxes and mats, and then the strips. I like to have the cardstock as well, but it is optional. And each step is going to take about 30 minutes to an hour, so you can kind of break it up. What I like about it is often people tell me they don't have room to leave their 8-foot scrapbooking table up in their living room anymore because their kids are, with life, and they don't want it, their husbands don't want it on the kitchen table. So what this idea, too, is that you can do it in 30 minutes, the increments of your life, and then you can stick it back in your bag, and then you can go to bed or whenever that is. It's not something that needs to be left out for weeks on end. So the first step is plop. That's my very technical terms, and plopping should take less than 30 minutes. Your photos are already in order because that's your homework to do while your supplies are arriving. Basically, I saved all my cardboards from page protectors and things like that throughout the years. But if you don't have 12 by 12 cardstock or cardboards, just even take your pages that you have, or even just take regular 8.5 by 11 cardstock, just something a little bit firmer. And you're going to plop the pictures that are going to go on that page. So maybe, 3 to 6 photos. It really is up to you. And you just plop them on. And after you plop the first page, you set it aside, and then you plop page 2, and you stack it on top. So page 1 is always going to be on the bottom, and then the last page will be the last one. You can plop in the car. You can plop in the ball game. I mean, this is all you need is a stack of pictures and some dividers of some sort to plop. Then the second, so then, if it's bedtime, you just can put that back in your bag, and you can go to bed. It doesn't need to be sitting out forever. So the next night or the next time you decide to do it, it should take 30 to 60 minutes. It's cropping, and the only tool you need is your 7-inch trimmer, and you start with the last page because that's your top one, right, when you plopped, and you're going to crop fast. You're not going to do circles and ovals and hearts and stars. This is boot camp, so you have to just take the boot camp method and get things done. It's the idea is to get it done. So after you crop, I roughly lay them out to make sure they fit on the page, but I don't get too anal exactly where they're going to go because everything's still going to shift a little bit. So as you can see, I have a photo here of kind of I laid them out in the area I'm going to do them. So since you're cropping, starting with the last page, you just keep piling them up until your page is on top again. Your first page is on top. So the step 3, I kind of gave, when I was doing this with my customers, I kind of gave them a night off a little bit, and I just said prep, and I just kind of said, just look at what the new supplies that you're going to use. Check out what the colors are on both sides of paper. There might be a piece of cardstock that are really cute that you just want to use full sheets that you don't want to, you just want to, put that on your page. Just check out your pages, check out your mats, because some are decorative, some are not. Maybe divide your journaling boxes up. And then I usually cut most of my cardstock in half to use them, because I don't use them as full sheets. I use them more as borders or more as like big pictures on. So I cut mine up. So you can flip them around, just kind of check it all out. That's just kind of for a free night. And then mat. So you can read the directions, but the gist of it is my rules is mat 1 or none on each page. And many pages I mat none. But a mat can either be one from the journaling boxes and mats, or you can take one of those strips of cardstock that I cut, maybe like at 4.5 inches, and I run it up the whole page and put my picture on top of that. So it kind of gives it a little bit of dimension, a little bit of variety. And then at this point, you tape everything down. So we are matting 1 or none and taping everything down. This is personal preference, but I'm a girl that likes to cluster my photos when my scrapbooks. So I try to keep them all kind of together instead of spreading them out. I like to group them all in one section. And the reason I like to do that is then I have space exactly to journal. So I have space here to journal or embellish, and I have just like spots that are open. I also think it's more pleasing to the eye than if I put one picture in each corner and like one in the middle. So I kind of group. So here I showed I matted one month. These are, I do many, many pages that I don't mat any. And here I simply tape down on that cardstock so I didn't have to do anything. And then I'll just tape that right on the page. This step might take a little longer, matting on mat 1 or none. So you could do this in 2 nights. So here's where I'm saying sometimes you're going to use 2 mats or a card strip, and that's okay. I mean, so here's a strip all the way down and a mat. I'm not going to, there's no police coming after you if you mat 2 pictures. But just remind yourself that you are doing boot camp, so you're moving along. Okay, I'm just showing some more pictures. Actually, that page was in there twice. And so step 4 is I just wanted to show another thing. Is sometimes I take those strips, like that big strip of cardstock, and I tape all 3 pictures on there and cut it off, and then put it on the page. So just to show you that, all 3 of these pictures are on one of those pieces of cardstock. Again, just to show you some variation. And then the next step I call splat. So I have plop, and then crop, and then mat, and splat. They're very, very technical. I know it's hard to remember those words. At this point, I take out my scraps from my leftover cardstock and my strips, and I lay them out. I grab my 12-inch straight, sometimes maybe, sometimes not, and my 7-inch trimmer and my matted pages, and I basically just fill in the empty spots. So sometimes I cut the strips in half if I have a big book and I'm trying to be conservative, and if I don't have as much, because they're two-sided, and then I can enjoy both colors of the strips. Just don't overthink it. I truly believe classic never goes over style. My kids have never commented that they like my stickers on my page. They like the pictures and they like the stories, and that's the only thing I focus on. But, we're still scrapbookers, so it's fun to do a little bit. So here's some examples of the splat pages. So here I just put a strip down, and then I added a little strip on top. Just kind of fill in the holes. So it kind of fills in the holes with a strip. Nothing too over-exaggerant. I don't even think about it. I just tape them on now. So, here I have a mat, and I put a strip across. I just kind of fill in the holes. And, you're always going to have lots of leftovers from the next album. I used the supplies that I just told you about, but I also added 2 more packs of pages. So I did like 80-some pages in the last album I made. It was like in 6 hours, and I had literally 3 tiny little 1-inch scraps left. I just used all my scraps. I just stick them in underneath pictures just to kind of add some color. And again, at that point you might want to do 10 pages a night or half hour, but that only should take an hour as well. So you really just kind of just do it. Don't overthink it. No one will tell you that they don't like your photo families albums because of you don't have the right sticker there. And then journaling. Journaling definitely is not part of the boot camp. Well, it's part of it, but it's not part of the 3-4 hours. Take some time. That's really what's going to be important. That's what's going to be priceless. And I always remind myself, if I had an album of my great-great-grandparents of their photos, would I want crafty, decorative pages with stickers all over them and cutesy borders, or would I want an album of my great-great-grandparents of their photos and their stories about what life was like? And when I'm journaling in my kids' albums, I try to remind myself of that as I'm writing. And if I have nothing to say on the page because it's pretty self-explanatory, I try to write about what life is like, or what our traditions are, or what the cost of something is these days, or all of those things that really you can't show in the picture that I would like to know about my great-grandparents' life. So those are the things I write about when I want to say, you're so cute for the 100th time. So I don't, you want to write something that's past the photos when you don't have something profound to say. So that is the boot camp. We just want to plug through. We want to enjoy our photos. We want them to look great, but we also want them to be done so we can enjoy them, because no one can enjoy a box of photos under your dresser, and no one can enjoy a CD of photos sitting on your coffee table. And I just really encourage you to try the boot camp once and see what you think. And you're probably going to tweak it a little bit. There's no doubt. And then try it yourself, and then do it with a friend, and then invite 4 friends over and do it together. So I wish you the best of luck. Anna, is there any questions? Otherwise, yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to say, does anybody have any questions about the boot camp? You can see that Sherry's got this in a Heritage Maker Studio book. Which size book is this, Sherry?
It is I'm sorry, I don't know who made this, but somebody on your team, Anna, asked if they could take my slides that I made. I had made all these boot camp slides, and asked if she could make it into a little spiral-bound, 3x5 little spiral books. And I said, you surely can, and then share it with me, please. And so she made it. I can't, I'm sorry, I don't even want to guess who it was. I'm really sorry for not giving you credit right now. But she took my pictures and put them in this little book, and I'm sure I can share it with you, or she can figure it out. So I bought one of these, which is great, because the other day I was doing a boot camp, and I explained it, but then I gave them the little book to sit next to them as I went to help somebody else, so she could follow along in there.
Yeah, it's a great tool. So if anybody wants this, I'm sure we can share it with you as well, so that you can print it, because it all is in Studio. So thanks to whoever made that for her. And if anybody has any questions, you can go ahead and put the questions into the question box, and we can answer those. And I am going to grab the presentation from you, Sherry.
Okay, you can do it. Okay.
Pull it back over. Yep, I can do it.
Okay.
All right. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. Because I am going to just quick, before we get into the training, I'm going to talk a little bit about what I have been working on that is a template now. It is the Healthy Body Challenge Journal. So one of kind of my missions here, as I've been working with the different projects, is, now, of course, before I did the training, I probably should have had this popped up here so that you guys didn't have to wait for my screen to refresh, because my computer is so extremely slow. One of the things that I've been working on a lot is integrating all of the things of Youngevity. So I've been trying to figure out ways that we can enjoy our Youngevity products along with Heritage Makers. And so I'm just going to pull this up here. This Healthy Body Challenge Journal is one of the things that I came up with, which is something that you can either use as a digital product, and you can fill it in online and print it completely finished, or you can print it blank, and then you can use a Sharpie, and you can work through this. But it is one of the 6x9 spiral-bound books. I love these little books from Heritage Makers. And like I said, the whole idea that I've been working on is trying to find ways that we can integrate the Heritage Makers products with the Youngevity products, just to have more of a tie-in for our customers to be able to see how they can document their whole weight loss journey. I mean, we are all about storytelling, and what a great thing to share with your pictures is your journey of how you lost the weight. starting out with your why and moving into inspiration. You know, all of us have different things that inspire us on our journeys throughout life, and then this is a tracker for your days so that you can't really see it in this view, but it says, you know, did I take my healthy body pack? Did I drink my water? Did I eat a healthy breakfast? So that goes on for a few pages, and then it moves into, go a little further, obstacles and accountability, because, you know, those are some big things that happen during a weight loss journey. You're always going to run into, you know, things that are giving you some trouble and how you got through them. And then we move into our favorite recipes. So this is a 6x9 book, so you can't actually put the full recipes in here, but I thought you could jot down some of the favorite recipes and maybe even what page it's on or what cookbook it's on or a website so that you can go back and you can look those up later. And then your go-to foods. So some of my thought process was, when this is finished, you know, this will be something that you can have in your bag so that when you meet with somebody and they tell you that they want to possibly do the Healthy Body Challenge, you can pull this out and you can share your journey with them and go, okay, these are some of the foods that, you know, got me through when I was starving in the first couple days and I wasn't sure how I was going to make it. You know, these are the couple things that I went to that really made a difference. And then photos again at your 30-day, your measurements, your 60-day and your 90 days so that you can start celebrating the changes that you're seeing in yourself. Then documenting anything you want about your journey. I thought maybe you know, kind of do this along the way. And then celebrating at the end when you reach your goals. And then the final pages for you to, you know, document your next steps. Maybe you made it to 90 days and now you want to go even further. You want to do something more. You want to invite some people to come with you. So one of these says, who are the next 3 people that you're going to share this with? So I hope you guys, you know, kind of get the idea that all of the products work so nicely together, and you know, we have the ability to integrate Heritage Makers into anything. With all of the great products that we have here, the 6x9 journal only ends up being like $14 when you purchase it, so it's super inexpensive and a really great way to document your health journey and to be able to, like I said, integrate the products with longevity. So that was my little integration piece. And if anybody does want it, it is a template in the gallery, so you're able to get that on your own. I don't even need to share it with you. So you can just go to the gallery and you can find it on your own. And for those of you that don't know what the template gallery is, I'm going to do that and then I'll pass it back over to you. Is that okay, Sherry? I'll go through the template gallery. Okay. So this here is my favorite thing in the whole world, and this is what drew me to longevity in the first place. So if you click on this link to go to the template gallery and you go to browse the gallery, any possible thing in the world that you're looking for, I swear, is in this gallery. Every time I come in here, I'm astounded at the new things that I find and the amazing fun projects that other people have come up with. So like for Valentine's Day, I know it's getting a little bit late for Valentine's Day right now, but just you can click on it and you can find all sorts of fun little things and creative things that people have come up with that you can do. And it's so much more than just card templates and page templates. There are some really, really, really cool things that you can do with candy wrappers, with the labels, and you might have seen on some of the blog posts different things that you can do for treats. So there's all sorts of little projects. Kristen Goodman, our upline, did a really great Valentine's Day treat workshop that she posted on Facebook with some different things that you could do with like sort of hybrid projects where you can cut apart some of these things and you can create projects. So these are just, you know, a few of the designs when you click on the specific holidays up here. But one of the things that I really, really like to do is to come in here and look for a specific thing. So I knew I was looking for Valentine's Day. Sherry had done these Tic Tac labels that I really wanted. Actually, I don't, were they the?
They were large address labels.
They were the large address labels. So
that's the thing I love about them is that you think address labels or you think large address labels. You're like, well, I don't need those. But you have to dig into them because you can't believe what's in them, and you can't believe what people have made on greeting cards. Like, it's just crazy. They really take a whole new meaning to address labels. So don't let the titles.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't let it fool you because that's what it's just so amazing what they did. So any one of these they're address labels, but you cut them in half and they become Tic Tac wrappers. And so they were super cute, just fun way that you could dress up your candy. And so all of these different address labels are all different things that you could do for candies. And I'm pretty sure you could probably take your circle punch and punch these out and use them even on the label, and they'd be stickers. So anyways, the template gallery is one of my favorite things. So you can come in here and you can search, like I said, by the season, or you can search by the product, or you can just come in here and search for anything that you're looking for. So if you were, maybe wanting to do a project for an upcoming wedding, you can just search under wedding. It'll narrow the search for you, and then you can come in here and you can say, okay, I know I want to make a greeting card to send to somebody for their wedding. So you can come in here and you can then narrow the search down. So I love the capability in here. It's amazing, all of the things that you can search for and you can find. And one of my other favorite things in here, uncheck these, and then I'm going to pass the wand over to Sherry to do some of the basic training, is on the very bottom, when you're signed in as a distributor, you can see this link that says Consultant Created Tools. It doesn't show up there unless you're signed in as a distributor, but when you click in here, you get all of the great things that are for your business. So in here you can find business cards, you can find labels, tons of different things, candy wrappers, there's planners, there's just an amazing amount of things in here under this Consultant Created Tools. So you don't always notice it there, but it's right at the bottom, and it's only when you're logged into your account. Click on that and poke around every once in a while, and you'll be shocked at the fun things that some of the different distributors have made that you can use as tools for your business. You could see, oh, I just unclicked that. Let me click it really quick one more time. If you are a traditional scrapbooker, Cynthia Coulon did make these great 12 by 12 pages that showcase all of the different paper packs, which you can print those and then you can put them in a frame, or you can just display them on your table so that you don't have to have every one of the paper packs to show people. You can print this out and it shows you. When you click on these, so you can see what it is in here, it'll give you a display of all of the different pieces in here. So you can click through and you can see all of the different things that are in this pack. So if you printed all of these, you would have all of these great displays already done for your table. So I thought this was a really good one to have. All right, I'm going to pass the wand back over to Sherry now. So she can do some
and
of the
like Anna was saying, when you hit personalize, basically you hit personalize and then
yeah.
you hit order, and that's it. That's it. And then you just hit publish, and it's all done for you. So you don't, unless you wanted to put like your name in your email or something, you could add a text box on that page and you could add your contact information, but you don't have to. That's what I love about it.
Yep. Actually, let me show you just really fast how quick it is, because this is a perfect example. There's nothing to customize in this. This is like, okay, for $31, I'm just going to print this entire set of everything. So I click this button that says Personalize. One other thing to note on here is that when you see this B, this is a basic template that even if you're not on Club, this is something that you're able to see and print. Some of the other ones will say Premier. And if you're on Premier, that means that you have to be on Club in order to print those projects. So if you're wondering what the basic and the Premier means. So you click that button, you hit Open Project, and my computer is chugging along here. Coming.
One other thing while it's loading is that Anna mentioned the cards are great, that you can just order them. Like if you go to the store now and buy a Hallmark card, they're like $3 to $5, if not $10 more. And here you can make a card for a couple of bucks, and for just a few cents extra, Heritage Makers will put it in the envelope, lick the nastiness, and send it to your friend or family. And they have a really cool handwriting font. It's called Direct Ship. When you go to order it, it'll say, do you want to direct ship this? And then you just type in the address. So try it to yourself. Just direct ship yourself a card just so you can see how it works. But it's fantastic. I think that's a great feature that, you know, why go to Target and try to pick out the perfect card when you can make one with your own, you know, photo, or not even a photo, but you can type something, personal message, and you can send it right to your loved one for so much cheaper than you would buy it from the store. So that's, I love doing that. kind of fun surprises to give too.
Yep. One thing I'll show you too as soon as I close this, where that direct ship button is. One thing to note is that the Square cards, you cannot direct ship those because Square requires extra postage. So just keep that in mind when you're going to create the cards, because we did have a few people that accidentally created Square, because they do look really cute, those 5x5 squares, but you can't direct ship those. They're I don't know why they're extra postage. So this is done. You know, this is already completed, so all I have to do is click the button that says Ready to Publish. Nothing else is required. So if I wanted to, like Sherry said, I could have went in there and I could have customized it a little bit, but I said I'm ready to go. I hit the Reviewed and I'm ready to publish, and it pops into my completed folder, just as simple as that. Let me show you just real quick on a card.
And then to show Add to Cart. So here's Add to Cart.
Yep.
Then you have to add it yet, and then you go to your cart in your upper right-hand corner, and it'll take you out.
Yep. I'm going to show you with the card really quick, so I can show you the difference between the direct ship and the. So you can see, like this one says Add to Cart right here. Here's a card. So I have the option to add it to the cart, or the option right here that says direct ship this. So some people, I think, can add it to the cart and not notice this and try to direct ship out of the cart, but it's right here. You just click this button, and it direct ships right to the person that you want it to. You choose the person's name, and it'll ship right to that person. If I didn't want to do that, and let's say that I wanted to add it to my cart because I wanted to personalize them, that's where Sherry was saying you click this button, and then you can add it to your cart with a quantity of however many, and then it'll get mailed to you, and then you could write them out yourself. And then your
now they know how to order already, so that's great.
Yeah, exactly. So now I gave Sherry a breakdown. But you have a half an hour now to do the rest of the basic training.
Yeah, no, that was great. That was great.
Okay, so I am going to flip over to you so that you can take control. And if anybody has any questions while Sherry's doing the basics training, I am going to be here answering. So go ahead and just type your questions right in. So you got the screen, Sherry? There you go.
Yep. Oops, what happened to my Heritage Makers? That's right. I'll go get it. So one other thing, while I'm loading here, is that one of my favorites, too, like Anna said, that are all pre-done for you, is that my last weekend retreat, I ordered, I went to the template gallery, and I went to the 11 by 14, just because we're talking about it. I want to show that quick, too. This is so fun in my house as well, and it's a great gift to give people. They're under, sorry, give me a second here. They're under Home Decor, not that one, Home Decor. And if you're on 11 by 14 print, there are a lot of subway art. And so for the last gift, I just ordered 6 or 7 different 11 by 14 prints. This was one of them because I thought it was adorable. And you can I just added the text box right here that said my kid's name. So Emmett, Jordana Dawson, you are my everything. After it says, you are the cheese to my macaroni, peanut to my butter. So there's all these different subway arts, again, that are all done for you. A lot of them you don't even have to add photos. And some would have your last name. You could change if you wanted to. Here would be, I could put Meisner. But some are just done. I gave this to my cousin who had a baby boy, and I put it in a frame. It took me 1 minute to make, and she just absolutely loved it. And I just put his name on the top. So you can kind of personalize this if you want, or you can just hit order, period. So here's the main page, like Anna kind of talked about. The only thing I wanted to show here too is products. If you click here on products, you can see everything that Heritage Makers offers and the price once you click on. But also, if you are a traditional scrapbooker, you can click right here to Our Memories for Life, and you can check out with your scrapbook. And someone like me, I do both. So if I check out, if you're on the club, you can just use your club points when you check out. All you do is go right there and check out. Or if you're not on the club and you're just a traditional scrapbooker but you're nosing around in Heritage Makers too, you can order your stuff right there, just so you know. It's very easy. And I think that's it. So let's get into the program, actually. So we'll click on My Studio here on top. And what I wanted to show you is here's your address book if you want to get addresses into. And you can start a new project here if you wanted to start with a blank one. You can click there, and here you can start from the template gallery or my templates, which I'll tell you in a second, or a blank one. When you're in the template gallery, it never fails. Like I'm going to go try to find a baby gift for my cousin for something to print for her, and I'll come across the cutest puppy page that I really want to make or something. But I'm not supposed to be doing that right now, and I don't want to be sidetracked because it's easy to be sidetracked in this gallery. And you can just click the heart button, and if that little flip book is something I want to make, but I'm not ready to make it right now, I hearted it, and it'll put it in my templates. So what you want to do, even it's great, you can't make pages or big projects on your iPad or on your phone, but you can like things or heart things on your iPad and iPhone. So if you're in the car and you're tired of scrolling through all the Facebook news, that's the same. I like to go here and I like to look at all the projects, and then I like to heart them, because then when I'm ready to make a project, I know I have them saved. Because when there's 25 or 12,000 plus photos or projects, it's hard to go back and find the one you're looking for when you do. So when you're just cruising along and you see something you love, make sure you click the heart button, because what it will do is it will put it in a special spot for you to find again. So when you go into my studio and you go under my projects and templates now, you will see 3 categories. Kind of Anna was in there, just to review. You're going to see view in progress. Those are the ones I'm working on. View completed, the ones I'm done with, and then my templates. And these are the ones that I liked. So there it is, that puppy love. The other thing, and I can hit say start my own. The other thing is if someone shares a book with you. So like if you want that little boot camp flip book so you can print your own, I'll share it with you and it'll show up in my templates. That's where you look for it. And then so these are some things that I either liked or people shared with me, and then I can say start my own. Okay? So let's just go back to my projects and templates, and let's see, I'm actually going to go just start something small so it loads really fast. I'm just going to go grab a card real quick here, because I just think it'll be a little easier to load. So I'm just going to open it up, hit a greeting card, and I'm just going to grab one. So to kind of start you through that process again. So let's see. Well, okay, let's do this one. I've done this one on a panel, and it's really cute. I did this on a panel for my niece. So I'll click here, and then you say personalize. See, $2 for like a greeting card that's folded. So how cool. So hit open project. And so we're just going to do a beginner training like we said. So it's not, the cool thing about this program is it's pretty easy. And I wanted to tell you, I was a Storybook user. I could do it in my sleep. And the first month or so was a little bit of a challenge, but I was determined to like this, and I love it more even now. So you have to just give it a shot. We didn't learn Storybook in a day. We didn't learn Storybook in a month. We didn't learn Storybook in 6 months. And there's no doubt that this program is, yes, there's some things I like better in the other one, but there's tons I love better in this one. So don't give up before you start, or you have to give it a fair shot. And I was with a friend today, and she was just telling me, she's like, I just got to tell you. And sometimes when you hear that, you think, oh gosh, I hope it's not bad news. She's like, I just got to tell you how much I just love Heritage Makers now that I've been using it and digging into it a little bit and giving it a chance. So I really first want to tell you, let's just give it a chance before you decide, because the pros of this program are fantastic. So these are things you should read that are going to come up, and basically it's telling you what all these marks are, but since I'm here talking to you, I'm going to hide them, and what they are is this design guide. You can just click on design guide and they're gone. So what it is basically you want to keep everything in the purple dotted lines. That purple dotted lines will not print, but that's where you want to keep your text box and anything for sure safe you want to print. And what I found, it does usually print on the out to the outsides here, so you do want to see how the orange paper is dragged all the way out. You do want to drag it. If the paper was like this, you might see a little white there, so you do want to be careful that you drag it all out. But text and anything can go right up to the purple line, and it's going to print. It'll be good, so just make sure you know that. For some reason, I don't know if it's everyone's computer, but it's mine. The tabs are on the bottom, and they don't show up until I maximize the screen. That took me forever to figure out, but hopefully I saved you guys some time on that one. You maximize the screen, and then my tabs show up. Voila, there they are. So what we're going to do is just work through the tabs, and Anna, you can interrupt me at any time to ask questions. But I'm going to start with the basics, and then I'd be happy to show you a little bit more advanced features or answer questions like how to import a page and things like that. So as questions come up, just shout them out. But we'll start at the bottom here, and we're going to move that toolbox over here. It just is more convenient for me. So this kind of moves up and down. I'll be honest, this is one of those things that kind of bothered me at first, but it doesn't bother me at all anymore, really, since it's on the side and not the right-hand side. It's not on the. So this is our organizer. I'll just drag it up so you can see it. Here is folders. As you can see, my folders here. And then here are albums in my folders where pictures go. Okay, so here are my July pictures from 2014 in a July folder. And I'm not going to tell you how to organize. That's totally up to you. But one thing I have found that's really helpful, we just got back from Mexico, and I started making my book. And last night, actually, you'll see how fast it can go. So I made it in just a couple hours so far. But so Riviera Maya is my folder, and what I found is even easier is to break these up in smaller albums. So I loaded my pictures in different folders like airplane. So these are like kind of the getting ready to go. And then this is, you know, the pool pictures. And so all my pool pictures, because I didn't really care in the book if I took this pool picture on day 1 or day 4. I wanted them just all to be together. So what I have found is instead of putting like 400 photos in your albums where your pictures are, just put 20 to 50 and then make a new album. Break it down, because you could even say page 1 through 10 or, you know, whatever it is. Break it down so it's not so daunting. You don't have like hundreds of photos here to go through. Organize it a little bit, and it will really make your pages go together a lot easier. Okay, so we can just use these because they're kind of fun, warm pictures, and many of us, when I'm in central Wisconsin, don't get to see. So I drag it down once I get to the, yes.
Can I just say one thing quick about when you load these up here? One of the things that you have to keep in mind is that this program puts them in alphabetical order. Yes. So it doesn't put them in date order. So that's something that's kind of a little gotcha for a lot of people. So if you are renaming all of your pictures and then putting them in, that they aren't going to come in by date. They're going to come in alpha order. So keep that in mind.
Yes, that's a good point, because that is, yes. So I don't rename my pictures, as you can see. The other thing is I forgot to mention is you want to work in Google Chrome. Always work in Chrome when you're in Studio, and I don't have any problems. If you're running into glitches, double check you're not like in Explorer or something. They don't update everything automatically in Explorer, so that's why you want to be in Chrome, because they do that for you. So I'm sorry, so you click on the pool, and then you just say add photos, and then you go get your photos from wherever they are, and you can see them larger or smaller, you know, however you need that to be. Okay, so then once I have my photos, I drag them down. And I try to look at my photos and, you know what I have. I only upload the photos that I'm going to put in the books. I try not to upload a lot of the extra. It's just easier. So we would never want to upload like this one and then try to figure out which one's better. Just upload the better one or delete the bad one before you upload them. A couple things. If you're used to Storybook, the wait time was at the end when we uploaded our book because we weren't online. So uploading your photos took like 1 second. Here, uploading your photos takes longer. It's kind of like uploading them anywhere to online sites. So the uploading your photos takes time, but the ordering takes 1 second then. So it's just opposite. So if you're going to go make some work on a book, I always try to upload my photos before I go to bed the night before and just let it run, because it does take a little time. Granted, if you don't live in chilly Wisconsin, you're probably better, a little faster than what I deal with. So, but you do want to do that the night before. Okay, so let's start making our book. We'll start with photos. So we want a new photo in here. So we're just going to click on the photo. So you need to highlight it to tell it that's what you're looking for. And you just take your picture, and this is where I'm going to put it. And as soon as you highlight it, it'll say drop photo here to swap. So you're going to drag your picture up, and you can see how it turns from a red X to a green X, and drop it in there. And there's my mom with her 2 boys. So you just drop it in there. So now I'm going to kind of show you how to play with it a little bit. And again, this is our beginner training, so please bear with me. We're trying to stay with the basics. When you click on a photo, it's automatically going to be locked when it starts. And you can see that by it's red, and it says drop photo here to swap. It has to be locked, which you can see here, in order to drop a photo in. If your photo is unlocked, you can unlock it here, or you can do a right click. So you can lock it or you can unlock it. Here, if I wanted to change the photo, you might be like, well, it's highlighted. Why can't I get my photo in there? Where is it going? If you let go, it's just going to plop it on top, so you don't want that. So you have to make sure your photo box is locked. Okay? When your photo box is locked, then you can go under the toolbox here, and if you can't find your toolbox, just go under View Toolbox, and it'll show up. Okay? So you hit Adjust, and this, when it's locked, you have the scale here, and the scale is a zoom in and then like a move around in your frame. Okay, so zoom it in, move it around. If I wanted to zoom it in more, you can, whatever you want. And then you just simply say Done. Okay, so that's what it does if you're locked. Now let's say you're unlocked, because now let's just say you want to make it smaller. Okay, because I can't make it smaller. Nothing moves, it's locked. That's when you have to unlock it. So I think of, most of the time I just leave it locked. I usually drop my photos in and I zoom it in and I move it around within the frame. But if I need to make this photo smaller because I need 2 on this page, you unlock it, and that allows you to move it. So it's unlocked, right? Unlock here. And it also allows you to resize it. So if I wanted to shrink it because I wanted to put another picture on the page. Okay, so let's say I just do this. But when it's unlocked, it looks a little different. And now when I hit Adjust, and because it's unlocked, it gives me like a cropping tool, like a scissors, like a 7-inch trimmer. So here I'm literally just cropping it, like if I want to get rid of the cement on the bottom, the blue lines is where you're cutting it, like with the scissors. So now I'm more like in a square shape. Okay, so I cut it. So when in doubt, if it's not doing what you want it to do, lock it or unlock it. Do the opposite. It probably is where you're stuck. And that just takes a lot of practice, because I get so frustrated at first, but I'm like, I'm going to figure this out. And now it is like second nature. I don't think anything of it. I use the right click and lock all the time. Or you can do Control L. Okay, so let's just work our way across. Okay. So that's kind of the Tools tab when you're on a photo. If you're on a photo and you're on a photo, because I'm highlighted here and I'm under Effects, this will blur. That really, you probably wouldn't do a picture. It'd be more if you wanted to blur paper together. The other cool thing is you can go to YouTube and you can YouTube anything. Like, I didn't know how to import a page, so you can like YouTube how to import a page, or you can YouTube probably how to use the blur technique in Heritage Makers. So use YouTube and they'll bring up a little short video, a couple-minute video, and you can learn things. Transparency is like opacity. The nice thing about that is, like, if you have decorative background paper and you want to type on it, you can maybe make it opacity. You can make it opaque or transparent. The rounded corners is obviously just what it says, but the cool thing is you can see it rounds my corners as I go up, but if you take the rounded corners all the way to the top, you'll get a circle or an oval based on what shape you started with. Okay. Border is simply, obviously, the mat. As you can see, there's like the black mat coming on. You can drop down here. So this is the width of your mat. You can drop down on this little arrow. You have to hit that arrow, so don't be frustrated. You have to just hit that arrow. You can pick a common color, or you can go in and get the color of his slippers or something in the page like this. Okay, so whatever you want. Oh, now you can't really see that very well, can you? Well, let's just go to the next one. Here's the drop shadow, so now you can see it a little bit. Here's your drop shadow, so now that made that border jump out at me, okay? And you can change the drop shadow color and intensity. Fill color is if you just want to fill something with a different color. So this little heart, let's move it. So if I click on this little heart, you can see it's filled with pink. So if I want to fill it with a different color, I just click down and just so you can see it, I'll fill it with a bright green just so you can see it. Okay, so that's a fill color. If you want to fill something in solid, that's solid. We don't have editing in Heritage Makers.
Can I just say one thing quick about the fill color, Sherry?
Yes.
So when you're doing that fill color, if you don't want it to be solid, you can lower the number from 100. That's like one of the things that a lot of people I don't think know about. So if you just, go onto your little banner really quick. Sorry, I'm interrupting you in the middle of your training, but a lot of people ask about this. Yeah. So pick a color
and then see how, thank you. So yes, I filled it with blue, so it's solid, it's blue, but when you pull it down, then you got like just like a blue tin hue to it. That maybe not be, but you get the gist of it. It kind of like almost like becomes the opacity.
It's a great tool for changing papers. So if you have like papers that have texture to them, it's a great tool to change the paper.
Yes, the texture. The other thing is sometimes you'll get an object and it'll be like a certain color and you don't know how to get rid of it. Like if you want to drop a picture into that shape. Instead, you drop it in, and it's like a black box, and you drop your picture in there because you can do that. To put your, but then you're like, what the heck? It's still black. It's because it's filled with a black. Let me just show you. So if you come across a page and it's black, you know, like this, and and you're like, I want to drop a picture in there, so you lock it, and you drop your picture in there, and then you're like, well, what the heck? Where's my picture? It's still black. It's because it has a fill color on, and you need to take the fill color off. They're cuter. I'm going to put them in there. Okay, so be careful on that. Black and white or sepia for your picture. Anything else, Anna, that I'm missing there?
No, somebody did want to mention, Beth Prager said that, you know how you showed them how when you maximize how the stuff shows up at the bottom, there is under the View pull-down menu, you showed them real quick with the tools, with the Content Explorer is
yes. Okay, yes. If you don't want to pull it up, you can use that. But then I'm guessing it probably goes up or away, and you can't vary. This is how you would vary it. Yes, thank you.
Right.
Okay. Since we're up here, the other thing I really like is a lot of, I'm, as you can guess, I'm a very simple kind of person, so a lot of the pages are a little busy for me, so there's a lot of things maybe I want to delete. And when you come into a project, everything is locked. So every element is locked. So if I wanted to go, I'd have to go through, and I can hold your Shift key down, and you can, highlight all these different elements, and then I have to unlock them, and then I can cut them. But what you can do is you can go under Edit and Lock, and you can lock everything on the page or unlock everything on the page or in the project. So the reasons you would want to unlock everything on the page is if you're going to delete a whole bunch of things. That way you can just click and delete whatever you want, or you can highlight them. Or if you want to lock everything on the page, if maybe you've moved things around, if you resize the photos because you wanted to fit before you drop the photos in, you resized them, then I lock everything on the page because then I can start dropping all my photos in. So if I had 6 pictures on this page and then they were all unlocked because I was moving them, I lock them all at one time and then start dropping photos in, because that's how it has to be in order to drop a photo in. All right, Control-Z or undo is, you can undo all the moves that you made or redo, so that's good to know. You can hold your Shift key down to select. You can also select items like dragging. So if you can't grab something, you can just you can highlight them, and to see how it grabbed all 3 of those text boxes at one time. Sometimes it's hard to grab little elements, and so when it is hard to grab little elements, I do zoom in, and then it's easier to grab it. But sometimes it's harder. Oops, that one's unlocked. Sometimes oh my gosh, see, I unlocked everything, and everything moves. You can just highlight, you can drag, and you can highlight, like, especially if you have a whole row of things that you want to highlight, that really makes it easier just to drag on it. And that just kind of takes playing. The lock feature, in my opinion, is nice, but we were used to everything being unlocked, but I love that it's locked so I don't move backgrounds and things like that, like I just was doing. The Layout tab is the last one. One thing that I did miss was that you can't say make the same size, make the same height, in 2 pictures. But if you wanted 2 pictures the same height, same size, what I simply do is I would just make the one I wanted, and then I simply just copy and paste it, and then I would drop my next photo in. And you just drag your pictures up then, and now, right, this has to be locked, and then at that point you can drop your new photo in. You can align them, so you hold your Shift key down, and they are locked, so I have to unlock them because I want to move them, right? So then align. So these are all your aligns and distributes. So align to the set left, align to the right, top, bottom, middle. Those are the main ones I use. So then they're lined up perfectly. You can also change the height and size right here. So I could just look at what size something was, and I could, match it to the other one. And when I type in the new numbers, then you just want to hit save, and it'll change it to the new size to match the other one. The flip. These are the layerings, like moving to front and back. But what I have found is easier is if you have a picture like that and you want the opposite. You wanted that picture on this picture on the top. Do you know what I mean? So if you have an element, or here's a good example, if you want those ribbons to be under the photos, you can start clicking, like send to the back here. But what I found is easy is just to hold your Control key down, and then, ooh, that really went, I want to move these. hold your control key down and then just hit the down button and it will move. Oh, it's locked. See, that's, I even do it sometimes. And it'll like go down all the layers. So you can see how hitting the control key down will take it down the layers. So it'll move the layers wherever they go.
And if you're on a Mac, the control key is the command key. So people ask that. So controls for PC, command is the Mac version.
Here is the text boxes. You know, you just drag, if you want another text box on, you just drag it up. I'll be honest, Anna, I have no idea what the difference is besides it starts at a different size. Is there a difference here? Like one starts at a smaller font.
Yep, it's all it is. And I just always use. Yep.
Okay, there's just one starts at a smaller font size and one is bigger. I usually use the bigger one because I can see it easier. Yep. But when you're here, there is this toolbar. I find it really nice for the text, but sometimes it annoys me. So this is View Toolbar, and you can go away if it bothers you. They added it. Sometimes I exit out. I like it for the text. The reason I like it for the text is you just double-click here to edit, and then you just highlight it, and you just say what you want it to say. So 2015. And because here it actually shows what the fonts actually look like. So you can see exactly what font I'm choosing, where the other, and the size is changed here, and the color, and all that jazz. If I get rid of that, and I see how my text doesn't fit because my text box is too small, I just need to make my text box bigger. If you go under the tools, here's fonts as well. So now that I'm in a toolbox, my tools, if I was in a photo, tools looks like adjust, right? But if I'm highlighted in a text box, then my tools is my font. But in order to see what these fonts look like, you have to hover over them here, whereas in the toolbar, it actually just shows them actually what it looks like, which I really like. So you'll get used to, now I know what they all look like, but at first, you know, that was kind of helpful. So then this is just a normal font, you know, Word kind of stuff. So you can make your text boxes any size you want. One thing that I've learned is that if you make your text box real big, it's totally fine, and then you move it. Let's say I want it right there. But then I'm trying to grab this photo. I'm trying to highlight this photo so I can move it. What I'm like, well, why can't I highlight it? You know, why am I keep getting that text box? It's because my text box is really big, and it's on top of my photo. So all you have to do is just shrink up that text box so it fits, you know, and then you can click your photo. It's just that my text box is like on top of my element. So if you had like a flower under there that you're trying to grab, you have to make this smaller in order to get it, or just move it for a second. So if you can't grab an element, maybe you have a text box that's over the top of it. So check that and make it smaller. So these are all, what?
Sherry, will you show them? This is my favorite thing, and here's the line of letter spacing. This is one of the things that used to annoy me so bad in Storybook, was because if I was doing like 2 or 3 lines of something and there was that big gap of space in between them, I don't know if that one will be a good
I don't know if this will work, but I think so. So yeah, so like a paragraph you like, but this would be letter spacing. So if you wanted it to spread out all the way across over to here, you can do your letter spacing like that. Yes, and
I love that.
Me too. And the same with the line spacing would be more if you're writing a paragraph and you want to fill a text box, and you don't want to double space it. That's too much, you know. But you want to, it'll just spread it a little bit, and every font is a little different. So yes, that's a great feature. Okay. Anything else there before I go to art collection?
Nope. No
okay.
questions right
so
now. The
art collection is amazing, but it's a little overwhelming for a person like me. But I've really come to love it because of the search bar. So you just type in, you know, beach or whatever topic you want, and you'll get all the kits that you want that go along with beach. And this is where the Premier, having the club on, is fantastic. You just get a lot more templates, a lot more kits. So you see most of them are the P, that's the Premier. If you're not on Premier, then you kind of are just kind of stuck with the basic kits, but they're still good. You can click on a kit, and if you like it, you say open this collection. If you don't like it, you just click outside the box, and it says that. Click outside to escape. So come out here, and then you can look at a different one. These are all free, free. I can't tell you how much money I used to spend on artwork. And now, I mean, yeah, you pay for the club, but the club money all goes towards my projects. So that's fantastic. So if you don't like these, you know, they also, since they have beach, they have 185 embellishments that go along with beach here that I could choose from. And then here's more beach paper, beach word art, beach everything. But if you like this kit, then you say open this collection, and then this is the only collection you're going to see. So you know me, I'm going to pick one collection, and I'm going to do my entire book in the same one. So that's just how I roll. So here's all my paper I'll choose from, and these are all my stickers that I can choose from. There's 71 there. So that's great. So if I want, what I do is I just click on my background paper, right? I want to change that. And I'm going to come down and apologize. I'm not making a beautiful scene for you guys here, but you get what I'm trying to do. The only thing is when I click on my background paper, it's red. That means it's locked. That means I can drop pictures in or paper in. But with paper, you have to drag it up, and then it'll say drop art to swap. So then you drop it in there, and it'll swap out. But you can't just drag it on. I don't know why. So you have to come off, and then you can drop it on. And you can fill, that's terrible, you can fill the pictures with art. So if you have pages and then you have an extra spot open, you can drop paper in there as well. So like instead of moving everything around, I just fill it with paper and then put an embellishment on top of there or make it my text box. So I kind of make it like that was my plan. So then drop an embellishment on and you can kind of go from there, obviously. So the artwork, you can search anything, and if you want to, I would search more particular, like waves, you know, or beach umbrella, so then you don't have to go through 800s of them if you just say beach, so narrow your search as much as you can. One thing I also really like is like letter fonts. If you just type in like the letter A or letter M, whatever you're looking for, and hit, you know, A, it'll come up with all the letter A fonts. So, no, I lied. Here they are. So also that's 50 of 79 it's showing. So here is 50 A's, and then I can hit see more. So if I like this font, this is the font I want to use, I just click on it, and then I say open this collection, and then all of the letters of that alphabet will come up. So this is that theme. So if you're looking for alpha fonts, this is then the one I opened here. So that's how you find letters. And you can also be specific, like word art. Like you could just search beach word art, or you could search, you know, soccer ball paper. You know, you can be more specific. So I'm sorry.
Did you tell them how many? What did it say? 709 alpha fonts.
Yeah, 709 alpha. Yeah.
Yeah. So when people say, oh, but there's only like, you know, 50 or 60 fonts to choose from, 709 alpha sets, though, that we can choose from. I mean, there's like a ton to choose from in there. It's incredible.
Yeah. The last two things I want to really show you is, well, just real quick. These are just quotes. So just like instead of going to Google, you can just find quotes. They're just birthday quotes. You just drag them on your page. They're just text boxes, so you do have to make those into a different font and resize or whatever. But it is nice to have it there, so you're not having to look for quotes on Google. The last thing I want to show you is how to import a page. And unfortunately, I don't know if I have any templates that'll match this one because...
You know, you can import anything.
Okay.
It doesn't matter the size.
Okay, let's pretend that this is a 12 by 12, 8 by 8 page, because I'll import a naked page quick. So you can import, so when, like I'm working on a storybook, that's what I usually do. And if I want to import a page from a different storybook, you can kind of picture that. Or if I want to import a page from a page print, you know, that I liked. So what I do is I go through the template gallery and I heart the ones I like. So I've hearted all the ones I like that maybe I want to include in my Mexico book. So I did 3 of them. So then I just come in here, and if you want to import a page from a current project that you're working on, you can. So like I have 3 kids. So if I'm working on Emmett's book, I might import a page that I made from Jordana's book that I already made, so I can just drop in his pictures and change the story a little bit, but the gist of it is done. And then I open up Dawson's book, and then I can import a page again. So that's another reason I use it. You can also import from unfinished projects, completed projects, and you see all your completed projects here down. Or you can go to my templates, and those are the ones that I, per se, liked. And so if I just click on one, and then these are the book. So I'm like, okay, it's kind of hard to see, but it is so nice. You click here, and then I can see all the embellishments, because maybe I just want the word 5th grade, and I knew it was in there. like for my cousin's wedding invite I made. I made the invites, the programs, the thank yous, everything. And I couldn't remember where I found this like bronze, this metal heart. And so I just went to her project, and then the heart was right here, and I just dragged it onto her thank yous. So that's kind of nice. So anyway, you have your book open, and then you go to my templates. These are the ones I've liked. The other, Mexico books looking, beachy books. And I click on it, and I just say import page. And it'll say it's going to delete everything on this page. And I say, thank goodness, because I made a mess. And then it'll import that entire page to your project there. And so this one is not the same size. So, but you can see that the page imported over the top. So you could start shrinking things down if you needed to, because I was on a 4x6 card. But there's my page. And, we didn't really talk about naked scrapbooking, but naked scrapbooking is simply just focusing on your photos and your stories. And I made some templates up, and I will show you. And there's nothing really magical about them. I think you guys all can do that. But I shared them with many of the SEMDs. So if you're on the call and you want the naked templates that I made, I will ask your SEMD leader, and I will share them with all of them. And if they could share them with you, that'd be great, just so I don't have to share with hundreds. But we made 12 by 12, and then I made 12 by 12, and then Barbara Roscoe on my team took it down to 8 by 8, so we have both. So here's an example of a naked page, and I'll do it real quickly. I apologize for the time. Basically, I made 100 templates that just are photos, because photos are what I believe is what's the most important. And so you can see they're all different designs of just photos where you drop in your photos to the pages. And then I'll just show you a couple examples that I made. So I just dropped in my photos first day of school. And so this photo box, instead of, I didn't have any more photos, so I just dropped in a piece of paper, right? I went down and I went to Art Collection and found a piece of paper, dropped it in, added a text box, and then I just added a couple embellishments under school. So it's not like they're if you want to add to them, you sure can. But when you see this page, you don't see all this stuff. Like sometimes you see my little Dawson going to school in second grade this year. Or if you want to see my daughter, I duplicate pages, and that's why I like the duplication of digital. And now you see my daughter's first day of school. See, I just changed a couple photos and changed them to her. So you can fill in the boxes instead of my tip to you is don't start deleting. If you don't have enough photos, don't start deleting these photo boxes. Just fill them with paper, and this is where I would journal or add an embellishment. So that is so much easier than trying to rearrange everything. Just fill the empty ones so I don't think I have any empty ones there, but you can see I've added a text box and added a couple embellishments. Or here I put background paper on, and then added a few embellishments. So I will share my naked templates with the SEMD leaders, and if you guys could pass them on to your team if they wish. But I challenge you, if we shared them with you, they were a lot of work on my part, and my gift to you, your homework or your challenge is you need to use them. That's the goal. I don't want to, it makes me sad to think of all the people I spend the time sharing them with, and then they never use them. So promise me, if we share them, use them, post something. It's so much easier. So this is how I made my Mexico book today in just, I don't know, like a couple hours. I had 200 pictures in my book, and now I just have the journal. So drop them in and move. And you can rearrange, I don't know, I didn't show this, but I think if you need this one to be the other direction, you just unlock it, hold your shift key down, and then you make that a landscape picture, and then you move it, and then you drop your picture in. So what I have found is if you want to put a landscape picture there, change it first, because if you change it afterwards, then your photo will distort. So if now then you'd have to re-drop it in. Oops, it's locked. If I drop it in, but obviously I needed it the other direction. So if I unlock it and I make her more you see how it distorts her, and then all I have to do is lock it again and then drop it in again. So it's kind of annoying. So change it before you start. All right, that was Fast and Furious. I hope it helped and gave you some motivation to get in and play. And one thing I encourage you to do is start with a card or a business card or something little. Something little. Don't start with a book. Start with a card. Start with a gift, a panel, something, a phone case, something like that that's not 20 pages or 100 pages long. Don't start with your heritage album. That's silly. And print it. Print it right away and get it back in your hands and enjoy it, and then make something else.
Thank you, Sherry. This is awesome. We so appreciate you, and you're just so fast and you're so great at training, so we totally appreciate it. Does anybody have any last-minute questions at all for her before we stop the recording? And I am recording this, and I'm going to post it out on the Team Ignite fan page, and then it's also posted on my YouTube channel. Hard to find the YouTube channel because it's called The Digigal, TheDigigal. If you search that on YouTube, it'll try to tell you to go to the digital, but it's just The Digigal, and you will find it, and it'll be posted there so you can watch it on YouTube. I won't put it up tonight because it takes a little while to convert to recording, but I'll put it up first thing in the morning. So it doesn't look like there are any questions for you, just everybody saying that you did great, they loved it, thanks for the training. Melody says, how did she get all of those options up at the bottom for all of her projects?
This?
Oh, that one. Melody,
it's my projects tab.
It's new. Well,
yep.
This also changed in September. It wasn't there before.
Right.
This is a new feature that they added at Summit.
Yep, so my projects tab, you'll see your current project. This is the one I'm working on right now here. And if I want to import, these are my unfinished projects. So if I want to import one of these, I click here, and then if I want to import that one, I say, okay, that's the one I want. What I find easier when I'm importing pages is I usually start with a story. If I'm making a storybook, I start with a storybook, and then I like or heart the page prints that I like, or the 12 by 12 or 8 by 8, just single page prints, because then here there's only one or two, and I know I liked it because it was something I hearted. Where if you like the whole book, it's kind of hard to tell what the template looks like here. So I usually start with a storybook, and then I heart a whole bunch of page prints that I import. And usually one thing we didn't talk about is this Manage Pages tab. Real quickly, I imported a smaller book, but when you hit Manage Pages, what I would do at the beginning, when I started my Mexico book, I came here right away, and I added a whole bunch of extra pages. And then I went to so like when you add a page, it'll be blank. Oh, I can't because this book is too big. Then you would add a page, and then I would import in my blank ones. I would import the pages that I like. So they're all there to kind of work with right away. I kind of add them all right away. And here also you can rearrange them. So if you're making a storybook, this is where you can rearrange them. Or like if you make page prints like I do here, I obviously made this one, and then I duplicated it for my next one. So I duplicated it. So these were probably, how they're very similar. So duplicate. If you don't like something, remove. Or if you have extra, remove them. And be careful, because the first project I made was, of course, this, $100 purse. And literally right at the end, I realized that I had a second side on the template that I chose. So over here, you'll see your pages. And I didn't know that because I was so new. So I had made my page for my purse here, and I never noticed there was a side 2 to the purse. And thank goodness I noticed the extra charge. Otherwise, I would have had other kids, another family on my purse when it would arrive. That would have been kind of funny. So make sure that, and I also did that with business cards once. I didn't realize it. I thought I had clicked on a single-sided business card, and I accidentally did a double-sided business card, and I never changed the second side. So I had someone else's information on the back. So make sure you, thank goodness it was not an expensive mistake and my purse was corrected, but make sure if you have two sides, you're fixing all sides of it, and you'll see them here.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Sherry. This is so helpful. And, if you guys want, we'll do these again, some different tips and tricks that we learned along the way. We can do another one of these. But for right now, hopefully this is enough to wet your whistle with all the basics, and we'll put this out. Just really quick, somebody asked about, I keep saying this really quick, but to delete photos out of the album manager, because you can't
Yeah.
do it from within the project. So just show her really quick how to do that.
Yeah, you have to quit and you have to go out to your photos here. I don't know why you can't delete them when you're in the project. So if you're not in a project, like at last night, I didn't go in my Mexico book yet because I hadn't started it. I just was uploading my photos. So I just went to photos here. Here you can. So now if I want to delete this picture, let's see, July, what the heck?
It's just right down, yeah.
You just click here and then you hit delete. Yep.
Yeah, so that's where the photo manager is up at the top.
Yep.
All right. We got to go at 10
Okay.
after. You guys have been super patient waiting as we went over, so thank you so much for your time. I'm going to stop the recording, and I'll post it up there for everybody tomorrow. Thank you so much, Sherry. We appreciate it, and everyone have an amazing night. Bye.
Thanks, Anna. Bye.